Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm Emily Schneider. I'll be your counselor today.
Hello, Miss Emily. I'm Mr. Pong.
Good to meet you. To start us off, I would like to reiterate what forms you filled out in the front office today. Those are your confidentiality forms. Um, they're just saying, what information you have given us and what we talk about today in any other session will be confidential and will not go past our conversations. Um, if the topics become uncomfortable or you would like to come back to them later, just let me know and we'll go back to those or change the directions and to make you feel comfortable. That sound okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. I will be taking notes today, so I ensure I reach all the points that are needed, and also to make sure that I am understanding you to my fullest ability. Um, Tell me what has brought you into my office today.
What brought me in today is the recent loss of my wife about a year ago, and my kids and grandkids are very disrespectful in many ways towards me.
Okay, and when you say disrespectful, what do you mean by disrespectful? In what way?
Um, well, I have 4 children, and my two oldest daughters, um, they don't have the same beliefs that I do from Vietnam. And my grandchildren, they've told my grandchildren in the same beliefs that they're in.
Okay, and what exactly do they believe?
Um, well, we brought them, we brought the children over at a very young age from Vietnam.
You and your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Me and my wife brought them over at a very young age, and I don't believe they remember very much of their Vietnam culture, and they grew up solely here in America, so they believe very strongly in American values.
Okay, so that's kind of what they grew up around. That's what they know. Other than what you've told them, they don't have any physical connection they feel, maybe, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And to go back, you said your wife had passed away. Do you mind ask or you mind if I ask when that happened?
She passed away about a year ago in a very fatal car accident.
Okay.
Yes,
Have you done any counseling or any sort of coping mechanisms for the grief you're feeling right now?
no, ma'am. I've never sought out counseling until today.
Okay, great. Well, we're definitely here to help. Um, so I understand you and your children are going through much grief. Are you together in this time? Are you good have a good support with each other, or how
Um,
is that relationship going?
my two daughters, when we do communicate, they're very short, so we never really get to talk about the grief that we're feeling.
Okay.
Um, my third child, my oldest son, is away in college right now, and my youngest son is here, and we have a very close bond.
Okay. So that makes you feel a good way, right?
Yes, with my son, it I have a very strong feeling we can communicate, but with my daughters, just because we don't communicate much, neither one of us know how each other's feeling after the passing of their mother.
Is it possible? Is this possibly due to the difference in the way you were raised, and you both have the same culture, but or same heritage, but maybe raised in different cultures, so you don't know how to start that conversation, maybe, or what do you think is causing this bump in the road with your eldest children?
Uh, because me and my wife brought them over at a very young age, We always tried to show them the Vietnamese beliefs and the way of living, but since growing up over here, they never took to it and always pushed away as they got older.
Okay. Okay, and how do you feel about that?
Um, I feel strongly that they should. I feel like they should know where they come from, even if they don't believe in the Vietnamese way. But with my younger sons, I feel like I'm closer with them because even if they don't follow the way, they still know their heritage.
Okay, so maybe what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, that they're not reaching the standard or what you set in place for them to, for what you expect them to believe in and how to live throughout their lives, you know, from where they came from.
Yes, ma'am. I feel everybody should know at least part of their culture and hold on to that.
Understandable, definitely understandable. So you're processing the grief a little different. Now, as far as the relationship with your children, do you want a better one with the eldest one? Um,
Yes, ma'am. With the two older girls, I do want that relationship, and I always have. But I never knew how to go about it.
okay.
And now with the loss of my wife, I feel like I need that relationship even more to be a family.
Okay, you need to feel connected with them to help get through it, and maybe help your wife's legacy live on. You know, possibly.
Yes, that would be much appreciated if they wanted to know more about the legacy of their family.
Okay, gotcha. Now for your third son, you briefly brought him up a little bit earlier. You said he's away in another state. You're fairly close. Um,
Yes.
do you think you have anything to work on with him, or you feel pretty confident in where you're standing at the moment?
Um, where we stand at the moment, I feel comfortable, but I think the reason of that is because he knows where he comes from, even though he doesn't follow that.
Okay, so he just shows that he respects it, and you honor his wishes, maybe not to live it out in a such direct and strict way, maybe.
Yes, I'm comfortable with that because, like I've said, he knows where he comes from and the beliefs of that culture. Even though he doesn't follow them directly, he possibly still does follow some of them.
Okay, so that makes you feel a good sense.
Yes.
And then with your youngest son, you said you have a good relationship. He follows the heritage and culture, you know,
Yes.
strictly.
Very, very strictly. He's very strong about learning more about his culture's past.
Okay, great. What about the children's relationships with each other as siblings?
They only talk on special occasions because all of them do feel different about the way they look at our culture.
Okay, and going back to what you said